Okay, so we just went over your thesis statements with my pointing out that you do need to narrow. The essay 4 is, the upcoming essay, essay 4, will be 2,000 to 3,000 words, which is 8 to 12 pages. You are required to use 5 sources in the paper and cited on the works cited. You may use more sources, but the percentage of sources to in the paper can only be 40% of the paper. So 10% can be quotes, 30% can be summary and paraphrasing, but 60% should be your discussion and your making sense of the point that you're making for your reader. All right. Okay, cool. Okay, so where did I have this? I did course links. Okay, so let's just kind of go to home, and then I'll share my page here. Then does anybody have any more questions that you would like answered? And I need to
for this essay, Ms. Manuel, do you want us to stick to that that layout, the one that we have just been doing, the thesis and then our argument, counter argument, and rebuttal? Or is it okay if we go, I remember last time we met, it was you gave me an example of how we could start with the thesis and then we could go in with all our counter arguments and then with our arguments.
Right, and actually you may. So you may, if you feel more comfortable sticking with the, here's my reason, here's who would disagree with it, and count, and then let me explain why my reasoning is better. That would be the sequence of your paragraphs. You can start with the reasons of your opposers, and then let me go ahead and find, I will find the page on Rogerian, and I'll make sure that you can get to it. So, and maybe we can take a look at that very quickly. It's another structure. Oh, up here, okay. I know, if I just say this. Okay. Okay, so this was for another class, but I kept it in there, and yeah, I don't think you have access to it. But okay, so I think I did I played for you once the problem with the 5-paragraph essay, right? We did go over that, yes?
I don't remember.
I don't remember?
No, I don't remember either.
Okay, I think it's really short, and she does it as a broadcast. So listen to the broadcast on, and the 5-paragraph essay would be what some of you are setting up your thesis statement. So I'm going to cover the problem of this, and then this, and then this, okay? So a lot of universities and colleges are getting away from the 5-paragraph essay because it doesn't allow you to develop any critical thinking. So this is this one here. It's only 3 minutes long.
From VOA Learning English, welcome to the Education Report in Special English. Millions of students have been taught a formula that has nothing to do with chemistry or mathematics. The formula is for writing a 5-paragraph essay. First, write an introductory paragraph to state the argument. Then, add 3 paragraphs of evidence. Finally, write a conclusion. Linda Bergman is director of the Writing Lab at Purdue University in Indiana. Her job is to help students, including international students, improve their writing. Professor Bergman has worked with many students who learned this traditional 5-paragraph formula. She says international students sometimes have difficulty with this formula if they learned a different writing structure. But just knowing how to write a 5-paragraph essay is not going to be enough for a college student who has to write a longer academic paper. As Professor Bergman notes, the formula is too simple to deal with subjects that require deeper thought and investigation. Karen Goshik works for the Institute for Writing and Rhetoric at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire. The Institute has a big library of online writing materials on its website. So, what are the qualities that make up good writing? Karen Goshik says there are no simple answers, except maybe for one. That is, there is no formula that students can follow to guarantee a well-written paper. In some cultures, students organize their paragraphs to build toward the main idea at the end of the paper. American college students are usually expected to state their thesis at the beginning of their paper. And American professors generally want students to use short sentences. For VOA Learning English, I'm Alex Villarreal.
Okay, so let me get out of this before it goes on to anything else. Okay, so tell me, what did you get out of that? Besides, she was practicing to be she was overly emphasizing being a broadcast journalist.
No, there's no right way to do this.
When you get into the real essay world, essay has a number of structures. So if you were taught the 5-paragraph essay, it's good for exams when you have to present an answer to something and you want to be able to structure it easily. But another structure, we do have structures. The other one is the Rogerian argument. So I'm going to play this one, and it's an option. So you can do this for essay 3, you can do this for essay 4, but if you're more comfortable with doing your reason, the counter argument, and then your rebuttal, I'm fine with that, okay?
So there was a psychologist named Carl Rogers, and he observed that a lot of times when people were angry with each other, one person would say, you know, I'm mad and I have all these things and I have all these things. The other person would say, you know, well, I'm mad and I have these things to say and I am so mad. And he thought to himself, what if the angry people had to sufficiently state the other person's point of view? What would that do to help them negotiate meetings together? So in other words, one mad person would say, you know, I hear you saying blah, 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 blah. Is that right? And the other one would say, you know what? That's right. And your main concern is blah, 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 right? So all these lines get crossed in good ways. All right, well, let's think about college essays for just a second here. Say you're writing along and you're like, you know, I have these points and it's great and I have these points and you're being, you know, super logical. But in the back of mind, you're, you know, like, I will destroy you with my logic. And, you know, really, you're just writing it on your own. You're making your own points, you're making your own arguments. And you're not often thinking about there's actually other people out there. And if they had to read what you were saying, they might think, you know, I don't believe you there and I'm mad there and I don't buy that and I don't buy that. So what if we invited the ghost of Carl Rogers into our essay writing process? What would that look like? Well, maybe in a Rogerian argument, we would first describe what the problem is that we're trying to solve. Sure, I see it one way, sure, someone else sees it another way, that's fine. But we would early on have to say, you know what, I want to state the other point of view. I want to let you, my readers, know that I'm listening to you and I understand other things besides just the way I see it. Then, of course, we are still trying to make our point of view. So you come in and you're like, well, here's the other ways where my side can be valid. You know, it's kind of even, things are looking good. And then at the end, you're like, you know what, I think it would really benefit you if you saw my side. Now, that's very different than this whole, I will destroy with my logic. Remember that? Instead, we're like, let me negotiate a shared understanding together. So in this kind of essay, instead of people being really mad, you know, you write it and like, hey, you know what, that's an interesting point of view. And you say, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm starting to see that. And maybe I don't agree, but at least we're kind of on the same page. At least we're moving towards actual understanding. That is how you make a Rogerian argument.
Okay, So I'll make sure that you have access to that particular video again. But if you do type in Rogerian argument into Google, you'll probably find a number of other videos that will go through how to structure it. Any other questions? So here's our activities.
I
Any
have
other
a
questions?
question.
Sure, Diane.
It's regarding the recording though. There was something that I wanted to go back to on one of our recordings, but when I went to the site, it said no recordings available. So I guess I'm not sure.
Okay, so I will get them posted. What happened is I have recently learned that if I end this session and I have ended another session and haven't completed converting it, it will not convert the new session. So then I have to go through a process of submitting it to Zoom. So I have 2 sessions that I have to submit to Zoom to convert. And frankly speaking, I know it's going to take me an hour to figure out how to do it. So I've just been dragging my heels on doing it. But I will get those posted tomorrow morning. And if you need some extra time, was it for the discussion board? What was it for?
It was for something else. It was for, I think it was like the Turnitin. I just wanted a little bit more information because I think I missed something. But actually, I can't remember who it was. Maybe Brianna. When she did her discussion for the week, she actually provided that information. So I didn't need to actually go back to it because she provided it for me, which was awesome. But yeah, it was just me wanting to go back to kind of see what I missed.
Okay, so I will make sure that I get that one. So I'll just note it here. Okay, anybody else?